I need to unmute and start the camera, and here I am. What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Thursday, a very beautiful Thursday over here in K Town, the town where the mouse resides. If you know, you know. I wonder what we would do without the mouse. It's a very scary thought. You know what I'm saying, as far as the economy around here. But if we didn't have a mouse, I mean, could Harry Potter hold it down? I don't know. I don't think so. Just a random thought. Just a random thought. It's summertime, springtime around here. So we start trying to figure out what we're going to do. My family is trying to figure out which water park we're going to attend. We got some new things, just in the area. That's what I love about here. Like, I can literally go on a staycation, somewhat like what they were doing over here in Detroit. I could go on a staycation if I do, things over there, like where the mouse resides, shooting the shit. What's up, T? I'm so glad to have you here with me. Me and T have these conversations on Sundays when we be out buying our groceries together. She live in Michigan. I live in Florida. Hey, Elsid. And so this is how we spend our time. If y'all wonder who I was talking about when I said I'd be like barbecuing in the holidays and we do these things together, except for in separate states, T is that's who I'm doing that with. You know. Anyway, staycation. I'm very blessed to be able to have a staycation within this, area that I live in. I could go slide down the volcano if I want to. I can go sleep with giraffes and lions and tigers and things outside my hotel room if I want to. But we just want to go to a water park. So it's Detroit. It's season 2. What episode are we on? Are we on episode 9? Yeah, I think it's episode 9. You know how they cut the seasons in half. But we're over here at a staycation at the Siren Hotel. They have better already. I'm getting to the hotel. They do have better hotels, I'm sure, in Detroit. But this one is, this is a job opportunity for you girls. She over here trying to get this, coin. See what the Siren has to offer. Bring some people over there. The couples arrive. It's cold. Detroit. I mean, y'all filming in the wintertime and things. These people always have to be showing up somewhere cold with fur coats and turtlenecks and things. Maybe y'all should shoot the next season. If y'all get a next season, maybe y'all should shoot it like towards the summertime where people can, enjoy themselves. It's hard to have a good time when. Sorry. Shamika said, she said the place looked haunted. I guess. Okay. Calm down. Calm down in the chat. We didn't even get to the part about the hotel yet. We're over here talking about, how it's cold in Detroit. And these people should maybe do their filming at different times of the year. That's all I'm saying. Hey, Shayna. You know what? Detroit has been. I'm gonna be like not as objective. I feel like because that's the neighborhood. I'm from Flint. Detroit is next door. We're like cousins. Detroit and Flint. Ask T. She'll tell you. So I'm kind of like a little bit like partial to Detroit. But this particular season, half of the season, I'm gonna go ahead and say they've really been doing their thing. It's been not so fake. And once you take the fake mess out, the shows tend to be a little bit better. As soon as we walk in the door, did I tell y'all to like the video? Ugh. Everybody, lock the door. Give me $20 before I get started. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. And yeah, so over here at the Siren Hotel, Christina is trying to, get an endorsement or whatever she calls her, contract things for whatever influencers be doing over there. So she's trying to get this, connection. And we brought the people over here to spend the night. As soon as we get in the door, and Christina's giving a lovely speech before Miss Latoya had to interrupt her. She was thanking everybody for coming, taking time away from their families, looking forward to starting the year off, with these guys on a good note. And, we should surely have a smooth weekend. This is according to Christina. And Latoya got to chime in, yeah, as long as Chelsea not here. I'm with Bravo. We just walked in the door. We literally just walked in the door, and you've been ready to come cake for Anthony, your frail little husband over there fighting with girls, calling the cops. I'm calling the cops. This lady's standing in my studio. I refuse to say her name. Anthony. Bravo thinks this is ridiculous. Colby thinks it's a good question because Colby's still in her feelings that this lady called her a stooge. She acting like a stooge. Russell say he gonna stay out of it. That's what Russell generally does. He should be a friend of the show. Colby could be a full-time cast member, but Russell just be coming through, not really offering a whole lot. So just because, you know, T was out here saying that this hotel looks haunted, it's not haunted, it's vintage. It's a vintage theme. It's got unique decor. You know, I will say this. I wasn't in the building, but I do feel like it's a good location for a content creator. So if you're going to want to take some interesting pictures, you know, that doesn't just look like you're in a hotel, then I would say, you know, the Siren might be a good place. It's definitely a good match for Christina and what she does. Not vintage ghost. Anyway, ciao. The Siren Hotel. I don't know. I can't give it any thumbs up. People said it's about a 4. It's 4.2. So you can decide for yourself if you're in Detroit, that's what you want to do. I probably wouldn't, but I would go over there to take some cool pictures if I was an influencer. So, you know, there's that. Anthony and LaToya sit in their confessionals and they pretend to be above all of this. And we're adults and we do not engage in the mess, except for when you walk in the door and start the mess. Everybody in their rooms. Bravo and Lakita, they got a good, you know, they got the suite. Yeah, instead of Brandon and Christina. I'm with Tito. It seems like these rooms are very small, and I would like for them to get somebody else to maybe help them with their styling because I don't know. As the rooms, I felt like they could have definitely done better with the rooms. Okay, I don't even know what that says. Yes, please like the video. Anthony, no, I said that already. Anthony Toy was in the things talking smack. Now the couples are all in their rooms. I don't know what that is. How do you make this person go away? It seems very strange. Okay. Whew. Should we have some type of celebration? This is the first time I had to block somebody. I'm going to get some block somebody music. Listen, if it's one thing I like is an elimination. So if you're going to be over here talking crazy, you will get eliminated. I have no problems with that. Anyway, the couples are in their room discussing whether the behavior of these people is going to be, you know, up to par. They were very small. They were very small. The rooms were very small. Listen, Siren Hotel, I tried to come over here and say nice things, but the people in the chat decided y'all were not up to par. I don't know what to tell you. The people over here in this show decided that they need to discuss whether or not people are going to behave over at the dinner table. Because one thing we know is when you get down, you know, to these reality shows and you go to the dinner table, it's a question, a conversation that needs to be had. I never have to worry about that. Do y'all be out there having to worry and be concerned about whether or not somebody is going to behave themselves at the dinner table? It seems strange to me. But, you know, we over here to see what types of mess is going to go on. Anthony can't wait for dinner. Elsie, your boy Anthony can't wait for dinner because he wants to confront Brandon about how he was over at the podcast talking smack about his wife. He said he made sure that the ops was not there. He made sure that Lyrique took the day off. Does Lyrique, do they have 9 to 5 hours? What is he trying to act like Lyrique be over there doing? I mean, I'm sure that Lyrique has had some projects that he worked on over the years. What is his job? Is he the engineer? Um, you have a few friends that might end up under the table. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Kiki, are you with me? That kind of under the table? Or I don't know. I don't know, Elsie. It's not after 9 o'clock. We have to be PG over here. Uh Anthony, and he thinks that Lyrique is the ops. Brandon brought Chelsea, the girl. That's what he's calling Chelsea. Anthony is calling Chelsea the girl. Brandon brought the girl over to his podcast. Anthony is the one that started with Chelsea. And as much as I think Chelsea's attitude is somewhat snarky, and she definitely needs a talking to. Christina's definitely gonna have to, temper whatever it is that Chelsea got going on over there. Chelsea is gonna be her business partner, her team, like managing her team or whatever. He might as well have called her that heifer. I mean, the way he was acting, that girl, I'll never say her name. Anthony is such a little. Anyway. So they go down to dinner, and the wives tricked the husbands and got them all to wear the same sweater. I thought that was very funny. That was very cute because Brandon and what's his name? Brandon and Bravo showed up to dinner last time with the same shirt on. So now the girls got them all in the same shirt. Would you be able to get your man to wear the sweater? I thought it was cute. I think I would definitely be able to get my man to wear the sweater. Because he respects like my opinion. So yeah, if I was gonna go over there and tell him I think I bought you this, I want you to wear this to dinner, it would be no problem. I don't know, like I feel like it was no problem for most of them except for Bravo. I feel like Bravo maybe doesn't trust Nikita's style, and he's very set in his own style. See, El Cid. So Mr. El Cid would not be participating in the dinner activities. Even if you were like, please, 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 I have these pictures that I want to take, and I bought you these sweater. You would have to trick them. You might be able to trick them. I know you got some tricks up your sleeve, El Cid. Don't be over here being shy now. Anthony asked Russell how it feels how does it feel like to have your gym open now? And they've like, it's been open for a year. So this to me was an example of how Anthony don't support. They've been open for a year. You acting like they had a grand opening in which Anthony was not in attendance to. He didn't want people to show up for his million-man meeting things, but when it comes to their businesses, he was at Bravo's spot when he was talking about his showcase, but then after that was over, we don't see him over at Bravo's spot no more because he's a whole hater. I'm like, Anthony, you don't even be at the gym. So, he said everything Anthony says to me sounds like a dig. No, Anthony doesn't look like he goes near a gym. But I'm just saying, are you like sending people over there? I don't know. Anthony doesn't come across like the most supportive person. He didn't even go to the grand opening because he was busy doing what? Babysitting? I don't know why he couldn't have Lyrique stand in for him for whatever Lyrique does over there at the podcast studio where photo shoots are taken. He hasn't been to their gym, but he's definitely been to their internet to look at their content. He said, y'all's content looks really good. Y'all's content looks really good. And Russell is like, yeah, that's Colby's thing. I figured Colby did it. Okay. He just said. So it only looks good. We all know that's what she does. She's a content creator. That's her job. Christina's content be cute over there too. But now that Christina and Colby are on the outs, not on the outs, but looking and lurking and lurking and looking. That's what he be doing, and probably copycatting. Has anybody listened to the Culture Connection Conversation podcast? Do he know what they be talking about over there? I haven't listened to any of it. I know that he hasn't done anything for the last like 5-6 months. So I guess how long has it been since they were away? So he was over there podcasting, talking to his homies. I guess like during filming, and then now that filming's over, he's not podcasting with anyone. I didn't see the one with Christina. That's why I went. I wanted to go see that one. Is it going to be released soon? I don't know. Anthony, be over here making up things to do. Russell said, how did it go with the podcast with Christina? I said, it's funny that Russell said he wasn't, I'm staying out of it. But then you go to the table, and I don't even think you meant to start nothing, because it's not a strange question, because we all know that Christina did go over there to, do his podcast. So how was that? And Anthony said, we had a good conversation. He said they talked history, and they talked business, and they talked careers. And then of course, the next part came where Brandon was taking shots at LaToya. And, Brandon definitely took a shot at LaToya. But I mean, I feel like they were over there doing that thing, like where him and Anthony were one-upping each other, and LaToya just kind of caught a stray. But I understand why Anthony would feel away. Like they're not just his wife, but their business. And you can't be out here saying that people have crumbly corks. Brandon, do you drink wine? Do you know anything about corks? Russell was looking for a reason to pray. He might need to pray. Why do I think of the Wizard of Oz? And Russell is definitely a scarecrow. Poor baby. He's a poor baby. He's a bless his heart. Dr. LaToya is so annoying how she defends Anthony and comes after Chelsea, and you were not there. Why does she have such a hard on for Chelsea? Is it because she called her a stooge? That stooge thing hit these two hard. I am a doctor. I am not a stooge. She did not like Chelsea. Even though we all know Anthony was the one over there calling her little girl and wobbling his neck all around and telling her, you don't need you around bosses over here, little girl. That's where I remember the thing starting. But okay, LaToya, you want to be over here acting like you knew exactly what happened. You knew exactly what this man Anthony told you happened, which we all know he's full of it. Brandon was like, listen, I was over here talking smack with Anthony. And yeah, I did talk about some corks. Maybe if y'all had spent $275,000 instead of $250,000, them corks might not be so crumbly. Are the corks crumbly? I haven't had any opulence. Have anybody tried opulence? I have not tried opulence. They don't make me want to. Like sometimes you want to go get, some of these products from these people. I'm going to tell you, I have purchased a Stormy Steel product. Not because whether I like her or don't like her. I do like her, but I did purchase her product, and it was definitely worth my money. I don't think I purchased anybody's alcohol, though. And when I think I want to, they do something stupid that made me not want to, Anthony. I don't know if anybody that knows about the opulence corks, can you please tell me if they're crumbly or not? That would be very irritating if I get a glass of wine and now I got to be fishing pieces of cork out of it. Just saying. I feel like LaToya blames whoever Anthony is arguing with. LaToya blames them without including his participation. She thinks Brandon did this and he brought this girl over here. And, Brandon didn't bring her, though. Christina did. What'd you say, Elsie? If you like it, you got to like Anthony. I mean, not really. Not really. I feel like if they're saying it's LaToya's wine, you know what I'm saying? And he is acting like his investment in the company. Anthony, you invested in a wine business. Stop acting like, you just handed your wife over $250,000. You did it as an investment, probably hoping to recoup your money back if you haven't already. I don't know. I don't know nobody that's buying Opulus wine, but maybe it's a Detroit thing. You get around with the people locally to support. She's an AKA and things. I can't see why her wine wouldn't be selling, except, this show, when you get on these reality shows, they can make or break your business. I hate how Dr. Latoya is always like ready to have this discussion about things that, where she wasn't present, lady. And then want to act like you're too good for it. She said bringing Chelsea to wherever, I guess, around is not good business. And I think bringing Chelsea is good business. If that's the role that she's supposed to be playing as your, project manager or whatever her job title is, then she should be there, because that's how artists travel. Now, if Chelsea is going to be representing Christina, she need to check her attitude, because you are like representing somebody else. She could have easily went in there and ignored Anthony. She did have some behaviors that would be considered unprofessional. Easy. Christina definitely needs to have a talk with Chelsea and be like, you know what, when you get around these people, act really unbothered, because y'all can't keep going back and forth. Like she said, matching energy. Bravo's like, so what happened over, at the podcast? And Latoya, who wasn't even there, jumps in. She was being disrespectful, and Anthony was like, and she was yelling, and I was like, no, she wasn't. And Latoya said she was like boring, and I was like, that's not how that went. She yawned real loud. That part she did do. And then she said she was bored, but she was definitely not yelling, not enough for this man to pick up his phone and dial 911 as if he was going to have his camera people remove the lady from the premises. It was all way too much. We're not going to talk about that. The way Anthony and Dr. Latoya paint a picture is very Karenish. They very entitled people, the way they stood up there and talked down to people. Anthony, I don't even know why, he feels like, I guess he's like in proximity of Dr. Latoya. So that makes him feel like, he's superior, above everybody else. I think they're better than Chelsea. Dr. Latoya called her ghetto. I was like, I don't feel like she's any more ghetto than the rest of them. What's his name? What's this lady? Kimberly Dobine. She was being real ghetto. Colby is eating it up. Everything that they're saying about Chelsea, Colby is sitting up there nodding her head as if, she was there too. Because she wants to see somebody get back at this. She just does not like Chelsea. You cannot call a pregnant woman a stooge. Poor Colby. She just, running her cell phone down the negative road. It's unfortunate. Anthony said, he didn't ever say nothing, not one word to this lady. He was not taking no shots at her. He didn't say nothing to her. And I'm like, Anthony, you were being passive aggressive. You did not acknowledge the lady. That in itself is like a form of, it was dismissive. It was passive aggressive. It was petty. I mean, you didn't just take shots directly like out of your mouth, except for the part where you won't even say the lady's name. Or if she says something to you, then you dismiss her as if she didn't say anything. It was real childish. I don't know why Colby is so invested in it, to be honest. I don't think anything that this lady Chelsea did was that serious, not to Colby. Honestly, the fight was between Anthony and Chelsea, but now Dr. Latoya got her boxing gloves on, so and her saying she's acting ghetto is irritating. She talking about, that's what they say. The street says she be acting ghetto. And I'm like, Dr. Latoya, you don't even have time for your kids, but you got time to be finding out what the streets is talking about? Or is Anthony the streets? And I don't know. Don't nobody tell Anthony nothing, because Anthony got a big mouth and everybody knows it. That's why he's all in his feelings about Bravo and Brandon. His friend group is dwindling. Now, Christina sat up there talking about, Kelsey, I've never seen her act that way. She's never showed that side to me. Christina, yes, she has. Stop that. I feel like y'all discussed it and planned it. And y'all were laughing about how you were going to watch Anthony's head explode when y'all walked through the door. So don't sit up here and act like you could just like, so I'm going to have a discussion. This is not the way I've ever seen Chelsea behave. You've seen it. You've seen it at your birthday. You've seen it over here at the podcast where she was acting out of order. I know that's your girl, but she was acting out of order. She wasn't a good representation, and matching energy with Anthony is surely going to take you down a whole rabbit hole that you don't even want to be down. I definitely feel like Miss Christina encouraged some of Chelsea's behavior, but she weaseled her way out of it with an apology. And it was such an eloquent apology. She talked about how it was an oversight and unintentional, and how she had no intentions of being disrespectful. She should have definitely had a conversation with Anthony before bringing Chelsea over there. So for that, she apologizes. And then she uppercuts Anthony with another apology. She said, it wasn't an apology. It was more like a statement. It was a follow-up. She uppercut Anthony with a follow-up. She said, Anthony, you're a million-man march movement leader, and you do not match energy with people in this setting. Like you're supposed to be the one that's leading the community in things. Well, she's right, because, that's what he said he was over there doing. Now, Anthony is appalled. He can't even believe she would say something like that. He's a man. He leads as a man. He leads his family. He's a good father. He leads as a husband. He's excellent at all of these things. He patting himself on the back, and Dr. LaToya is like, well, hold on. You do all right. She lets Chelsea do the talking for her. She definitely lets Chelsea do the talking for her. That's why her sitting up there acting like, oh my God, I don't know. Chelsea would have never said nothing like that. She knows Chelsea. The streets just said it, according to LaToya, who takes all of her information that Anthony provides for her as, the solid Bible, the truth. So he could be telling her anything, and she's going to repeat it like a fool on his behalf. Now, Russell. I don't know why this got on my nerves. Russell chimes in talking about, I just don't know, like, as a man, it's just so hard to lead. And I'm like, you don't even be there. You talking about leading your family, and your family said you don't be home. And the little girl running around there being disrespectful, and you're not there to like show her, that she has to be respectful to her mother. You encouraging her to be, a little daddy cheerleader, in spite of how Kobe's feelings gonna be. Kobe stepped up, and she was like letting Russell know that this is a partnership. And you are not right all the time. She needed an audience for this. Kobe said, oh my God. Kobe said, listen, this is everything ain't for everybody. This ain't for me, but according to Kobe, that women need to learn how to be graceful when their husband isn't right. And I'm like, I guess I feel like you should be graceful to any human person when they're not right. If they're not right and it's not an argument, you should be able to, like, I don't know, debate the situation in a way that's graceful, that you would consider graceful. So, I guess, girl, it just seems like a human rule, not necessarily a wife rule. I think some of these women, and Kobe is one of them, is very torn between her traditional Christian values and her being an independent woman. Russell said he retired her. I retired my wife so she could do all these things that, that's written down in the book of rules, how she's supposed to submit and things. And do her wifely duties as a wife and listen to her husband because he's the man, he has the last word. These are their rules, not mine. But she's also someone who's young, too young to be retired. What'd you say? I said God gives grace. I mean, she says she does. I believe you should submit in all these things, but Kobe is just torn. Like I said, she wants to be out here being an influencer. That's a fashion lifestyle. That's a beauty lifestyle. I feel like now she's on a TV show, and honestly, she over here getting brand deals with cookware and all of that, and she's got a beautiful family. So like Anthony said, their content looks good. I haven't seen it lately. I'll probably go look. I did go look at Christina. Her content is good too. They both have beautiful families. So that doesn't surprise me. Christina doing the partnership with the hotel, that makes sense. Y'all dog the hotel, but I mean, it is what it is, child. I don't know. I don't know what Kobe's going to do with that. Because she has a husband who's very deeply embedded in the Christian values, especially the ones that benefit him and serve him. So, all those things that she wants as an independent woman don't match up with all the things, the rules and regulations that he has set in place. Kimberly Dobine says, we're both control freaks and we're both alphas. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're not. You might be a control freak and you might be an alpha, but I don't see that out of Marcel. She said, you won't see me over here submitting to anyone talking about, oh, yes, honey, that's, and then, Marcel piped in a little bit and he said, and that's not what I require from you, but, he really couldn't get it all the way out because that lady was still talking. And I feel like he's not really giving alpha male. I'm so tired of that term. Will y'all cut it out? We're both control freaks. That sounds horrible. That sounds like a horrible situation to be in. Everybody can't be in control. I'm back with Colby. This is a partnership. We don't need leaders. I mean, protectors, I guess, if that's what you're looking for. Let me don't project my thoughts on other folks. Maybe they are looking for leaders and protectors, but they need to make up their mind what they want. He seems weird. Are you talking about Marcel? I mean, she's weird. There's somebody for everybody, I guess. They match up. She certainly could be with somebody who had any type of opinion about anything because she don't shut up. I think he's very easygoing. He would have to be. He would have to be easygoing because, she's bossy. Now, I'm going to tell you this right here. Brandon went ahead and he got very honest. He said him and Christina were dating while married. That's no truer fact said. You walk into the situation where y'all are living in different states and you marry each other after 6 months. They absolutely were dating while married. And then he said he feels like they were just faking it for the public. And again, Christina is a preacher's kid. I feel like she has grown up under a lot of pressure to keep an image and fake it for the public. So, people, if a preacher's kid does anything that looks like what the rest of the kids are out there doing, they have this other standard that other people have, provided for them as if they made the choices that their parents made. So I could see her trying to, present this image that would be acceptable for the outside world and the public. In the meantime, Brandon he doesn't come from that world. He is very unfamiliar with the Bible and all of that stuff. So, why did you choose him, Christina? He said why he chose you. He was trying to get to them cakes. And so he figured if I got to marry her to do it, then that's what I'm going to do. I think one thing, though, is they like each other. It definitely seems like at some point they liked each other. But when they're working in this, area of faking it and not, Brandon probably being told who he is. And Christina, I don't know, over here living the life that somebody told her that it's supposed to look like. and then dealing with him and all the foolishness. And then, he over here being uh, disrespectful with artists and all the things that they were doing, he was doing, that, she out here probably pretending like they're a happy family. And again, with the aesthetics, they're a beautiful family and we like that. And so we see that and we're like, oh, yeah, they do look good together. I'm glad that it's feeling like they like each other. And I don't think they're faking that. I think it feels like, at their age, they're realizing maybe he's seeing that he got a good thing, he lucked up on a good thing, and maybe he should relax and look at, his family that he's been blessed with. Because to me, watching the little girls go over to his mama's house and, making a dinner and they happy over there, they get to go hang out with their grandmother. He's saying, I'm a testimony to grandmamas be different towards their grandchildren than they do to their children. I'm just saying. They over here got me blurry, child. I was like, no, they don't. Have my eyes leaking a little bit. It was very real. It was a very real scene. He talked about, him not being able to lead the family and that he asked for divorce multiple times. That's the stuff that people be going through in real life. Not that they owe anybody sharing that. This is Melanie and Brandon came in here, and Melanie helped this thing over here in Detroit. Only Brandon is not like out here doing whatever was happening over there, but it's like they're giving the real part of their marriage and what they was going through for real. Christina got emotional, and I liked how Brandon let her know it was okay. He didn't make it a big deal and get up, and make it a whole moment. He just, let her know, like, they were like, oh, don't cry, Christina. He let her know, you're good. Go ahead and release them emotions and get through it. So that was probably my favorite, scene in the show, because it was definitely something that even the people sitting at that table were looking like, damn, they all felt that. They all felt it. It was a great dinner party. The cute sweaters, the good conversation. I think all the couples needed this. I think all the couples needed this getaway. Lakita and Bravo need some type of extended time together where, it's no kids and all of that. He not rushing out, going to the club. She probably don't see her man like that because he'd be out all night, come home, so they, even though they live together, probably barely see each other because the schedule is, crazy. The Dobines needed this weekend because she literally just, her baby is young. She's over there with 2 young children and get caught up in, all of that. And I feel like her and her husband, maybe she gonna get down here and expose some of that lingerie that she bought. I hope we don't have to look at it, but that's what they're gonna be doing over there. So, I get it. Colby needed to be pampered. Colby needed some time where, Russell can see her for real, not, ignore whatever it is she got going on. Even though, like always, Russell kind of dipped out before, all the festivities were had. The ladies gave her a sprinkle party, which was very cute. Bravo can't run from his wife on a trip. I mean, I hope that's not what he's doing. I really like Lakita. I think Bravo is honestly in a place where Brandon was. He's on this show now, and he's got a little popularity. Hell, they was down in Dr. G's DMs trying to give him a baby. We know what they doing over there with Bravo. So I'm just hoping that Bravo does actually love what he has going on over there and appreciates it and doesn't let, this newfound attention get him off track. Because, ain't nothing out here in these streets. I don't think he should be. I don't know. I hope he likes her. I like her. So I need him to like her too. They have a whole family over there. So Kimberly is over here at the sprinkle, finding that old love that she used to have for Christina. They got baby bumps. Now that was cute. So Kobe definitely needed this moment, and clearly so did Kimberly Dobine. Kimberly Dobine, she really needed to get this, friendship back. She's not there, like all the way there, like that, like that. She's making such an ordeal over her friendship with Christina. Christina's over here not studying this lady like that. She's annoying. You think her husband is real T? I think she's weird. You over here in your feelings. Somebody called your phone mediocre. I guess, child, I would just have to be mediocre because I pay this bill. Does now the Cyrene Hotel not have a catering? Because these ladies was over here unpackaging crackers and cheese and salami. And I'm like, now, I feel like the place should have had a little, catering menu or something that was just them for the little sprinkle. We couldn't have a little meatballs and wings and chickens and things. You know what I'm saying? Cyrene, I don't know. I don't think your guest should be at the bar unwrapping. She said DoorDash. I mean, the hotel got a whole restaurant. DoorDash would have been better than them crackers and them cupcakes. Now, all the things I think that Christina did, she the sprinkle party. I don't know. It was real light sprinkle. It was a real light sprinkle. Christina brings up her baby shower. Her and Kimberly are over here having this moment. It's a lot of laughing and giggling. And Christina brings up her baby shower. And we know last week, this lady, Kimberly Dobine, was all out triggered because of the baby shower. This week, not so much. She done went down from 3 hours. The lady was not 3 hours late. She was 2 hours late. And Christina said she was not 2 hours late. It was more like an hour. So they negotiated back and forth between an hour and a half. And I'm like, Dobine, how late was she? Because there's a big difference between 1 hour and 3 hours, for goodness sakes. Anyway, they had a good laugh over it. So I guess for now, this is what's going to happen. LaToya is not going to like it. So LaToya is going to make sure that Kimberly Dobine does not rekindle this relationship that she had with Christina, because that will put a ringer in all her shenanigans over there with Anthony. Kimberly don't even have a problem with Chelsea. She said, I mean, I've never run into this type of issue with Chelsea that these ladies are saying that they had. So I can't speak on it, but I guess you just have to be aware of other people's feelings as it relates to how Chelsea is dealing with them. I guess. I mean, I feel like I've said it. Christina basically said Chelsea ain't going nowhere and she shouldn't. But Chelsea, if you care about your friend and the way she looks and you're supposed to be there managing her and her brand, then you're going to have to check your own self, because it's rubbing some people the wrong way, and you don't want that reputation. And people going to be looking for a reason anyway. The ladies have a conversation about mom guilt, and they share their struggles about feeling guilty about leaving your kids, taking care of yourself. I understand that with single mothers, but y'all don't have husbands that do any type of work that they shouldn't be able to participate. Russell, okay, he has to do his military thing. He has his military duties that he has to, obligated to, obviously. But, he can make time. Him and this gym thing, if it's Anytime Fitness, it's anytime. You don't have to be there like that. You can make a schedule. So Brandon, I don't know what Brandon does. He's down at the Hip Factory, but I also feel like it's not a 9 to 5. So you can make time. You have, things that you need to pick up the kids from. Like they over here acting like they just absolutely don't have time. When Dr. LaToya says she don't have time, I get it, because she's a doctor. So, but these are not single women. So, you having mom guilt about doing what? Going to the spa? Kobe doesn't work. I mean, she does her, her influencing thing, but she's another one that doesn't have somewhere to go to, a job. So these kids see y'all. Kimberly Dobine, girl, what do you do? I know she said a lot of things, but again, I feel like when I think of having mom guilt, it's because you have two jobs and you're not able to take care of your kids. Or like you have like Dr. Latoya, who she's a doctor, so we know her schedule is it's not a 9 to 5 necessarily. She's busy. And so she has to figure out, she's struggling with that, trying to figure out how to balance being a career woman and a mother. So that I understand. But like I said, these husbands like don't have these pressing jobs where this particular situation couldn't be worked out. Latoya said, I feel like me and Colby are more alike than not because, we like to come home and things need to be handled. Russell don't come home. So what is she talking about? He don't be at home. He's at work. So what is he supposed to be handling at home? You sound like Anthony don't do anything and he be at the house playing video games with the kids. He certainly acts like one. I feel like him and his son is probably in the same class over there calling people names and things. But, do y'all be having mom guilt? I feel like I've had it before. I said Dr. Latoya. Yeah, Dr. Latoya works, so I understand her having mom guilt. Kobe, not so much. She around her kids all the time. I don't know that you should feel guilty if you step out to go to the hair salon or something. Russell is not that busy that, although he likes to act like he is, he's not. So who else? Brandon. What do Brandon do? Not working 9 to 5. So Christina, she don't either. That's what I'm like, these people, mom guilt, it's an interesting conversation to have, but I feel like the only one out of them that would be having mom guilt for real is Dr. Latoya. Mom guilt when you got to drop him off at daycare. Exactly. Not when you got to like have the Pierre hold them in the other room while you take photoshops with your new branding deal that you got with the pots. You can even dress them up and put them in the picture with you. Her and Kobe are nothing alike at all, except for maybe that negative attitude that they both share. Plus, Dr. Latoya's kids are big. Kobe's got a little one and a little baby on the way. So, please. I feel like, honestly, Kimberly Dobine and Kobe are more similar with having, their situation is similar. I don't know where Marcel be. He probably do. He got a regular job, so their lifestyle is probably more like regular people. We don't know what Kimberly do. She said it, child. I don't remember. Anthony. I feel like Anthony is Sutton from Beverly Hills. He just wants to be one of the Barbies. So do he work for real? He be down to the studio, taking pictures, pretending like he's making showcases. And, Anthony has not followed through. One thing I'm going to say about Brandon, because I used to dog Brandon all the time, and I feel like it's not, gone nowhere. He, I'm sure, will do something that will take me back to where we were. But Brandon has said Star Factory from day one. From the very beginning, he has always talked about this is what he does over here at the Star Factory. And then I guess that building, he leases out all those, offices and things. So that explains how he makes money. If you have a big enough building and you're renting out enough spaces, that's a good way to make money. Anthony, every time is different. Every time you see Anthony is different. Please don't say you're a podcaster. Stop it. Based on what we've seen, I want to see the Christina interview. Anthony, he hiding out on that one. Why? Because he's a hater. Bravo is over there opening businesses, and he's doing it with properties. With partners. So he's not over here flexing like he just, I'm opening these things and I'm dropping this money over here and over there. Anthony is a Tommy from Martin. Hey, Erica. Exactly, Erica. You think he's a Tommy? Yeah. I don't know. At least Tommy had a nice personality. This Anthony is just a mess. Anthony is daddy daycare. But where does the little girl though? Does he keep the little girl? Because I feel like he's that dad that plays video games and stuff with his boys, and then tells his girl to go sit down somewhere, go play. Mm-hmm. I don't know that they mom guilt is really something that they can really claim, but I get it, I suppose. So these guys go running. What's his name? Russell. Russell has planned this whole exercise day for them, but then Russell has to go into his duty, his military duty. So he's obligated. He can't be there. So these guys get up, run around the block, and come back up the street. It was cold outside, and I was like, they don't look like not one single one of them. Bravo may work out, clearly not outside. Bravo is so spoiled. He's like all got his gear on, so it's 30 degrees outside. He got some shorts on. Bad decision. Anthony, we know he don't work out. They came out of that hotel and they ran across the street, down the block, and back up the street again. That was their exercise. But Russell set them up. I guess the thing that Siren Hotel, y'all don't have a gym, huh? Listen, Siren Hotel, if you want people to come there, you got to have a gym. You got to push a couple few of them rooms together and make a gym out of it. Because people that travel like to work out. And even especially when they're traveling by themselves. If they're traveling by themselves and they just, going to include that in their routine. So you're going to have to, at some point, get a gym, Siren Hotel. Bravo's lifts weights. She over here with this Bravo slander, and I'm not putting on the cake from him. And he definitely has a cocktail or two, but that's part of his lifestyle, as a bar owner, El Cid. Who runs outside of Michigan winters? I mean, you would know better than I do. And I tell you what, I told you, I feel like they shouldn't even be filming in winter, let alone running around outside in the winter. But like I said, they ran up the street and came back. And so somebody asked, what did y'all think of dinner last night? I think it was Brandon that said, what do y'all think of my dinner last night? And Anthony says, it was good. Bravo told some truth, and there wasn't so much Bravo Brandon D riding. Really? That's rude. Why is he saying that? He doesn't even have an example of it. Poor baby Anthony. Let's see. Exactly, Erica says, in those rooms, the interior was looking questionable. It was definitely questionable. I like the idea of a vintage, like, something out of the ordinary hotel, but they're going to have to do better because what they're serving is old, not vintage. So they need to hire somebody and a real interior designer to come in there and, redecorate in a way where it looks more arts and not so old. Anyway, Anthony said that the Brandon and Bravo be D-riding. And I'm like, okay. This seems like the kind of things that his little boy would be saying. What does that mean? They be D-riding. He doesn't have any example of it. They go back up to Bravo's room, because like I said, they only spent a few minutes outside. I would have done it at all. So they go up in the room, and I'm sure Anthony is in his feelings to find out that Bravo and he had the other penthouse suite, which I guess they're calling it that. Did the stairs lead to the room? I'm so curious to see how this place is made because there's barely any room for them to sit in that room together. And then, you walk up those teeny tiny stairs. I feel like, I would be holding on for dear life to that railing. What'd you say, Elston? They have styrofoam containers on the table. We won't call it upscale then. We'll call it, I don't know. I haven't thought of a name of it. Y'all, this hotel ain't getting the best reviews. You're gonna have to go see it in person. So yeah, anyway, they're sitting in this room, these four grown men. It's so small. Um Brandon got to sit in the window. And this guy Anthony asked Brandon, "Does it offend you when I say that y'all are deriding?" And I'm like, what kind of question is that? Does it offend you if I say y'all are deriding? Of course it does. And Brandon was like, I'm not, as a man, really offended by anything. And I'm not going to be defending myself from being called something so immature. And I was like, he is so, yes, Brandon, that's right. What do you mean? How could that be a positive? I'll go. You nominate me to go see the hotel in person. I will. And T will come with me and we'll take video and we'll talk about it. See, when I go see her, then we have an excuse to go check out the siren. But I mean, by then, will it matter? I don't know. We'll send a correspondent. There has to be somebody in Detroit that we know that when we can send a correspondent over there to give us firsthand information about the Siren Hotel. Anyway, D. Bryden. Anthony is obviously jealous about the relationship between Bravo and Brandon, which is weird. He said, I feel like, what did he say? You just know that Brandon's sensitive. So you'll say anything to me because you know Brandon is sensitive. And I'm like, I don't think that's it. Bravo literally said, I mean, has anybody been out in these streets calling me a D-rider? That's not something that you hear about Bravo. If I'm saying that, Brandon is right, it's probably because you're wrong. And more people think you're wrong than they do think you're right. I feel like Mr. Marcel, he's sitting back paying attention. He's not a mouthy guy. And so what do you think are the chances of, after this little tiff that they had in the beginning, of Bravo and Marcel being cool? Because Keita is going to go along with whatever. She can get along with anyone. So it won't be hard for Keita to engage with Kimberly. All you got to do is let Kimberly talk. Kimberly already wants to be really good friends with Christina, as much as, she tries to pretend like she's taking baby steps. I think more than anything in the world, she wakes up every morning and she clicks her heels together and say, please let Christina be my friend. Please let Christina be my friend. Please let Christina be my friend. That's what Kimberly Dobine be doing. I think, that's pretty much where it ended, with these guys having a conversation. When you behave like Anthony, you really probably not going to have a lot of friends, and your reputation is going to precede, whatever it is you got going on. I think I really like the idea about the Star Factory, especially in this day and age with internet sensations. Kids become internet famous without knowing how to perform, and all of the things that go along with being a true performer. So you can skip steps. I feel like I don't see any problem with it, but at some point you need to get trained to do the right thing. So I'm here for Brandon, even if it's not him having the Star Factory and having the right people in place. It's Detroit. It's full of talent. So I could see like bigger. First of all, Brandon, it might be time for upgrade, a new location. I'm just saying, if he owns that building, that might be the reason why he's still there, but maybe a second location. I don't know, but at least there's a thing there for him to continue. Detroit is the Star Factory. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's an opportunity to bring other people in, kind of in the way that Anthony is trying to do it with a podcast. But it would be real cool to see Brandon network himself in a way where he could bring, people in that we could see the progress. Christina ain't it. So next week, she got to be ready to perform. And I feel like they're trolling us a little bit. El Cid said he needs to own his own building. I don't know if he does own that building though, El Cid, because he said that at some point he rents out those spaces. Remember them people came in there and acted fool and tore the place up, and him and Christina had to go over there and undo the damage. So if he's not the landlord, then he does need to invest in his own business. So, he's talk to Carlos King. He should be able to, hook you up with the right places. But I mean, in the long term, if this show is going to be around, I would love to see that happen, where you see talent coming out of there and see real things happening. Bravo is obviously doing his thing. From what I can see, the places look nice. Now, have anybody been to Bravo spot? T, your people, have they been over there to Bravo spot? We need to write this thing down and get on get on a call on a, what do you call it? A Zoom call. We need to get on a Zoom call and get some correspondence to get out there to see what's going on with Bravo and his, restaurant businesses. But from what I can see, they look nice. Bravo is trying to go more in the restaurant direction and away from the club direction. And I feel like that's definitely going to be something that will make Keita feel more comfortable. He's settling. Give him a minute. Relax. Y'all, I'm going to get off of Bravo. Anthony, we don't know. I mean, Anthony doesn't have to do anything. He's living off of Dr. LaToya. So that's why he has all this arrogance, because every time he calls her Dr. LaToya, he feels like that, uplifts him into some upper echelon of people that, we don't know. We don't know what he's doing. His podcast, I'm going to make an effort. I'm going to make an effort to watch his podcast and see what he's over there talking about. And then I'll have some feedback for y'all on the next episode. We'll see what Christina does. Like I said, I feel like they're trolling us a little bit. They're not necessarily, she's not going like bag it as bad as it seems like. It seems like she might, not have her performing, performing voice together, but we'll see. We'll see what happened. Keita wants to share locations. Bravo. This is where I have to step off the Bravo train. If you don't give that lady your location, seriously, I don't even feel like this is a conversation. I don't think you should be concerned about her having your location, for God's sakes. I feel like that's something families just do. It's not that serious. And it looked like Chelsea is back in front of the firing squad. So she can go over here and speak for herself. Christina doesn't have to speak for her. Colby seems very much turned up about this whole Chelsea thing. Like, I'm not understanding why Colby is so upset that she's slobbering over the table. Christina should stick to her social media content. I think so too. And, I think so too, because I feel like she doesn't even want to perform. She doesn't even want to be a performer. I feel like as far as her singing skills is concerned, it's a lot of people that don't necessarily have singing skills. You know what I'm saying? But they have passion, and she doesn't have it. She doesn't have any passion to perform, or she got an okay voice, okay enough to, to be a performer. You say get her Colby. I want Colby to sit down. I disagree. I want Colby to sit down. What is she so mad for? Both of them need to sit down. So I guess we'll see how that plays out. I'm going to let y'all go. That's all I got for today. Thank you guys for coming to hang out with me. It's been real fun. And, we still talking? she can do a little yang around the house. That's about all she needs to do. Colby feels forever pregnant because she's not pregnant. I feel like that baby is a year old now, just about. She be in the pictures. She's now a part of the content. Anyway, y'all, that's it. That's all. And I'll see you, when I see you. Bye, y'all.
Spider, me, must have got bit by a goat. I used to dream as a kid I would grow to be one. I hope that I inspire hope for you to go get what you desire most. Spit fire, bitch, I was just flying.